welcome to the Traveling Golfer. I'm Mike Whitson, and right there is the Traveling Golfer, Claudio DeMarchi. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Mike. Good to see you without a partition this time.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to partition us again, though. Stand by.
I think so.
Yeah. By the way, if you go back in time, you'll notice that we started these shows social distancing, and we continue to do that with many of our guests as we get through COVID. But I will tell you this: we did notice golf was the first back to making us a civilized society again, and we've been here ever since. We'll continue to do that no matter what happens. Don't forget to check out this show. No matter where you listen to it, you can always subscribe to it on YouTube. By the way, Claudio, if you hit that notification, that little bell up in the top right corner, it's good, because then what happens is it lets you know that there's a new episode.
That's it?
Yeah. And also, you should check out the number one source for golf travel on the planet Earth,
TravelingGolfer.net.
It is that. That was a little quiz, and you passed. What's on the brew over at TravelingGolfer.net and up on the YouTube channel? I noticed a lot of content going up over the last few weeks.
Well, we're just picking up the slack. We've had time now that we've been in a little bit of a down, swing.
Downswing.
Downswing, like that. Anyhow, and so, lots of videos, and of course our podcasts are doing well. We're up to almost 110 YouTube subscribers now. So that's kind of cool.
I did notice that we're into the mega thousands of listens. So thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate that.
Close to 50,000 listeners over the 14 shows or whatever we've produced so far.
Do you want the number? I'll share it with you.
That's kind of what I recall.
71,000 on all platforms. Congratulations.
Yikes.
Yeah, a lot of people tuning in. They miss golf, and they are desperate to get back there and travel. We'll give you some ideas. Now, we have talked many, many times in the past about trips that you've been on, to various parts of the U.S., to various parts of Canada. And, of course, one of the things that I hear about being one of your buddies is some of these outrageous, wonderful trips that you've gone on to different parts of the world. And today you've assembled... Well, it is an assembly. It is the UN of golfers who made an incredible trip. Tell us about the trip and who you've got on board today.
Well, these guys are guys that I've known for quite a while, and high-profile North American golf media. And we all went on a trip to Thailand in November I think we were on the ground for 13 days. We had a wonderful time. We have with us Rob Longley from the Toronto Sun, or Post Media. All of our Toronto friends, our Ontario friends, will know him from reading him in the Toronto Sun as he covers the Blue Jays.
I was going to say, not just golf, also baseball.
Yeah, and we have Jeff Thoreson from Golf Styles magazine covering Eastern USA, one of the hot markets for Tourism Thailand. And that's where we're going to focus on. The fourth person was none other than my partner for 2 weeks, as we took these other two boys down in some ongoing matches. Brian Weis from Midwest Golfing, and his own Golf Trips digital platform for people looking to go on trips.
Oh, this is an awesome assembly to recall this trip.
It was, but before we get into it, we're going to put them in quarantine for a couple of minutes. Gotta tell
the cone of silence.
Got to tell you that Don Hazel from Golf Trends was up a couple of weeks ago, and we've introduced them as our sponsor, along with Tour Edge and Bag Boy.
Welcome aboard, gang. Glad to have you.
Yeah. And one of Don's big lines is the Vigor eyewear, and he just happened to drop off a couple of pairs.
Oh.
I think one pair stuck on my head.
I think that's a nice looking pair of shades, man.
Now, those happen to be the polarized version.
That's good for fishing.
Anything outdoors.
Yeah.
And Vigor is known for their very scratch resistant and perfect for hiking, biking, you name it.
It's interesting to me because I've had very good sunglasses over the years, and I have a tendency just to scratch the living hell out of them. These you can tell just by the weight of them, the lens, the way that the lens feels.
Get your fingers off my lens. I have to clean them.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here, let me take care of that. Vigor eyewear, delightful, very cool.
Yes, but for golfers, they have the glasses with the lumen lens.
What's that?
It's just a lens that is better for being on a golf green and being able to read the greens more detail, less reflection, less distortion. And just last week I took them out and compared them, and it was very obvious. I mean, when you're looking for it, if you're not looking for it, you probably wouldn't know the difference. But when somebody points it out to you, I just thought that I would take both pairs out and go.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
And so now you know the difference. And
First smart thing I've ever done.
Have you? No, that's not true, because you just mentioned that you've worn them fishing. So, and now that might be the other thing to do, is to see the difference between polarized and the lumen models, just in the water, to see how that the big difference there. But it is interesting to me that they've created a very focused. See what I did? We're punning all over the place. A focused approach to their sports lenses, specific to sport.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
And they're not expensive. So the polarized ones are more expensive than the lumen, which I thought was kind of strange. I thought lumen would be more of a customized product. But these aviators go for about $75.
Wow, that's a great deal.
Canadian.
Well, these feel way, sorry, I got my fingers on them again. These feel way more expensive than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible.
And the lumen are only $60. And again, Canadian. So that must be almost free in the U.S. And yeah, so in Canada, if you're looking for them, you can get them from your PGA Pro or places like Golf Town. I'm sure in the U.S. they're available far more widely. And we're going to bring our listeners more products as we move forward, from Tour Edge, Bag Boy, and Sure Shot, and all the other lines that Golf Trends.
You'll find links to all of the above in the description for the show. Thanks for them, to those guys, for being on board with us. All right, take us overseas, Claudio.
Let's go. And why are we going over there?
Well, I would imagine for some golf, some great food, some. Was there another purpose that I missed?
Well, specifically right now, we're going because this is our first venture abroad, let's say. Mm-hmm. And so Thailand has gone to the greatest extents to make the destination COVID safe.
Wow.
So anybody...
Very interesting.
Yes, and they've actually started to allow tourism over there to resume. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's on a long-term stay, which isn't a bad thing, because if you're going to quarantine for 14 days, you might as well stay there for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyways, they've, and you can go onto the Tourism Authority of Thailand website and just see all that they've done. But aside from that,
I think that's incredible. Like that they're set up and ready to go. Look, we're back in business. We've taken every measure we can and beyond to make sure that you're safe and have really a wonderful vacation and some great golf. I think that's incredible. So hats off to them.
And a lot of Asia is that much further along than the rest of us. But there are a lot of fun things to do over there. And there are a lot of great golf courses. There's a lot of wonderful food to be had. So on this particular trip, there was the four of us, 12 nights. We played 7 rounds of golf. We visited temples and Buddhas and ate, and ate.
Sounds incredible.
Yes.
All right. Well, you guys take it away. Let's recap the trip and bring in the gang. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
We're all going to rehash this. This should be fun. I thought that maybe what we would do is look at each of the 4 centers that we visited. So while we were there, we were in Bangkok, Kanchanaburi, which is famous for having the bridge over the River Kawi.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went to Hua Hin and ended up in Pattaya before coming back. So, and this is the kind of trip that would be I would consider a normal excursion for a North American if they're going to go to Asia to do 12 days, visit 3 or 4 different spots, and everything for us was coordinated through Gulf Asian, which is probably the number one Asian tour operator, certainly number one in Thailand. And Tourism Authority of Thailand was very instrumental in working with Gulf Asian and setting it all up. And I guess I was there because I was the IACTO North American rep, who we work very closely all year long with anything that Thailand wants to do in North America. They usually will call on us on specific projects. So it was my little job to get these guys together, and off we went. So
what was that like? You guys got a call. You want to go to Thailand? How did that feel? That sounds like a pretty easy, a pretty easy yes.
Yeah, Claudio didn't really have to sell it that hard. I mean, the chance to see that part of the world, obviously, and then once you did a little bit of research and realized some of the great golf opportunities over there, it was pretty much a no-brainer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would take a whole lot of thought to do this one, because I've been to that part of the world several times, but never to Thailand. And it was a great experience. Not only, I mean, I think more so for the culture and the food than for the golf. The golf was great, but it's always interesting. That's one of the reasons you travel, is to see, experience different cultures and see how different things can really be.
Sure. I echo those same sentiments. I initially looked at the amazing golf courses we were going to play, and many of them ranked in the top courses in Southeast Asia. But once I started reading other articles and reading the itinerary about the great food and the massage and the weather, it was a pretty easy yes. And my wife was incredibly jealous that I had an opportunity to see that side of the world.
I had invited her first, but she said. Anyhow, so when we were there, we got eased into the trip. So, it's a 15-hour flight, and the connection, you can't get there without a connection from North America. But we eased into the trip with a touring day first. And we got to take a longtail boat through the river that runs right through Bangkok, the Chao Phraya River. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I tried my best.
Nice work.
Yeah, we got to visit a great restaurant. While we were out there, we saw the commerce that takes place on the river. You can buy anything from trinkets and trash to a casket.
Well,
how do you like that?
That's so what do? You just float that home?
Hopefully not in it.
Put your groceries in it?
Yes. And we went to places like the Grand Palace. We saw the, like I said, temples and Buddhas, the Emerald Buddha, which is the most sacred image. But the Grand Palace, I think they get something like 20,000 visitors a day.
Incredible.
We went through a wholesale market, which I think, would you guys agree, it supplies probably all the flowers around the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, it was like under a building, right?
Oh, who knows? We went through this, that, and the other thing, and then we came out on the other side, and here we are on the street again.
Yeah.
It was quite amazing. So then we had some of the most amazing dinners, and you wouldn't even know that you were in some big fancy hotel, because we were on a rooftop almost every night, having drinks and amazing dinners. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency downtown, probably had the most spectacular of the rooftop scenarios, 3 levels, from noisy to casual, drinks and a nice atmosphere, down to piano bar and fine dining.
That sounds incredible. So the top 3 floors of the hotel were all entertainment, bar, and restaurant, rooftop.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
3 levels. And then we only played 1 round of golf in Bangkok. And that was at, Oh my God, the longest name of a golf course.
Okay, try
Royal
it.
City Golf Gems Dream Arena, which is a Ron Garl.
I'm sorry, what was the name of that again?
Royal City Golf Gems Dream Arena.
Wow.
18 replica holes designed by my buddy Ron Garl.
Okay.
Some of the famous holes from around the world. And then as we were leaving to go from Bangkok to Kanchanaburi, we played the Nakanti course, which is also unique. Three sets of 6 holes, 6 par 3s, 6 par 4s, 6 par 5s. That was kind of fun. And guys, female caddies at all the courses from there on. It doesn't get much better, but what'd you think of Bangkok?
Well, I think the itinerary was done really well for us, Claudio, certainly in retrospect, because, and you alluded to it off the top, traveling that far for a golf vacation like that, you really do need a couple of days to decompress and get over the jet lag and get used to the time zone. So being able to tour Bangkok like we did was great. We got a real feel for the culture and certainly the food. And the other thing that was amazing, if you ever go to Bangkok, you have to do what we did. And I think we saw at least 4 or 5 different rooftop bars at night, which is really a spectacular view of the city and really a sort of a tamer part of the nightlife there, but a part of the nightlife that you really don't want to miss.
Well, prior to this, I was in basement nightlife most of the time. So this was very refreshing. And I don't know, what was your favorite meal of the restaurants we went to?
Well, I love spicy food. So the spicy pork, I think, was on our plate the first night. And I remember, eating the hot peppers, and there was a little kick in there. And once again, just absolutely love hot food. So they initially, our guests, or our hosts rather, were kind of shocked that my mouth was not instantly on fire, and I finished my beer in one sip. So they brought out more, and I finished the entire dish. And I think one of the greatest compliments is they said I was already adapted to Thai food. So I was excited about that, and my mouth is watering for some spicy Thai pork.
Sounds delicious.
Claudio, remember that Wayside restaurant we stopped at? It was like on the 2nd or 3rd day. It was in some small town. I can't remember where we were going or where we were coming from. But we pulled into the parking lot and went inside. It was like a little shop and a restaurant, and they just kept bringing food.
I do remember that, but I can't really remember. Well, even if we did remember, we wouldn't remember the name anyways.
No, we wouldn't be able to pronounce it. So
you guys were toured around and given recommendations where to eat, for example, like, we'll take you here to try this and that.
Yes.
Yep.
So like in Bangkok, I thought, I'm not a buffet guy, but at the Marriott Marquis downtown Bangkok, and all these places we went to within walking distance. So the Hyatt Regency downtown is in an ideal spot to walk to so much. You can get taken to golf and then come back. But that buffet that we had, not only was it a buffet, but it also had cooking stations within. So it wasn't as if you were getting stuff that's been sitting there. You get to go and order what you want and bring it back. My God, that's probably in Bangkok the highlight of the meals for me.
Now in Bangkok, because it's like I envision a dense city, you play a round of golf there. How far away from the hotel do you find that you have to go for a round of golf, or have they wedged this into this urban scenario?
Well, Golf Asian once again set up our trip, and for most of their clients, they strongly recommend providing the transportation. Actually, I don't think they will actually set up a package if you don't use their transportation. And as far as the travels that we did, I think most of the golf courses were inside an hour, 45 minutes, to a centrally located hotel. So once again, hats off to Golf Asian for providing a phenomenal driver / host, because he did really immerse us into the culture. And once again, just to kind of reiterate, many of the excursions, I think we stopped for prawns, if that's what you were thinking about, Jeff, on that roadside cafe that constantly brought the food, or maybe I'm thinking of another delicious meal.
I think the prawns were when I think we were in Kanchanaburi already. No, you're right. We were on the longtail boat.
Yeah.
We went for an hour and then we had lunch or something like that. And then that was the massage day too. That's the one.
Yeah. The prawns are basically lobsters over there too. Like they're massive. It's so well done. We had prawns at several places, and as Brian was saying, the food was really outstanding. The one night we had Jeff almost in tears because Jeff doesn't like it quite as spicy as the three of us, but he was a trooper and tried some of the stuff, and you really get acclimated to it after a while too, because it's so well done, and it's like Thai food in North America it really pales in comparison to the real thing, and we had a wide variety of it. We had it at little local shops like you guys were mentioning, and we had it at some of the fancier hotels in Bangkok. So we really got a feel for the food, and that was definitely a highlight of it.
Yeah, that was the second day of our touring, and that was the day we also went to the old capital of Thailand, which was destroyed by the Burmese in 1767 or something like that. But it had been the capital of Thailand for 400 some odd years, and I thought that was really cool. The ruins were kind of neat to.
It's fantastic. I know we just briefly touched on the golf, but I'm just looking at my notes from the itinerary, and the Royal Gems Golf City, the Dream Arena, Claudio, as you mentioned, the front nine are 9 of the greatest holes, or some of the greatest holes in the world, but the back 9 is a replica of the back 9 at Augusta. So, that was the second time I had the opportunity of playing a replica course of Augusta. Hopefully some days my travels will get us there. But it was a pretty realistic replica of Augusta.
Yeah, it was in really good shape. And keep in mind that course is only like 2 or 3 years old, so it's got a lot of maturing to do, and it'll be better. But what about the playing with having caddies, female caddies?
It was different, that's for sure. I've done that before in Vietnam, but not with the one rider per cart. You have your caddy chauffeuring you everywhere. Which was fine. It kind of breaks up a little bit of the camaraderie of the group, but the interest level of these young girls and their stories of their small town life in Thailand were really interesting, and it's neat that golf can provide such a great living for those girls that otherwise would be come from very impoverished towns.
Yeah, no, I've been many places over in Asia, and the quality of the caddies, from their knowledge of the golf course and everything else, is amazing. I thought. Rob, you had the most fawns, so what'd you think?
Yeah, I had a couple of fawns. That was their actual, allegedly their actual given names. No, I found the caddy experience to be, again, one of the highlights of it. Once you got used to it, and they really did know the golf course. They knew the yardages pretty well, and at least 3 or 4 of the caddies that I had were spectacular at reading greens. I mean, you didn't want to believe what they were saying, but they were right on. I mean, they that's what they do for a living, and they get to know the greens, and they take it seriously. I mean, they're like anybody else in the service industry like that, working for tips. But they were pleasant too. Most of them had at least a bit of a grasp of English, including one of my fawns, who I remember one day we were on about the 14th or the 15th hole, and probably about the 8th or 9th bunker that I'd been on that day at minimum. And she just looked at me and shook her head, and with her rake in her hand. They had their own personalized rakes on each cart. She just looked at me and shook her head and said, "Too much sand, Mr. Rob. Too much sand."
Well, one of the things that always gets me about them is that within 3 or 4 holes, they know how far you hit your clubs. They already tell you what club to hit and whatever.
Well, I would imagine, as you point out, that the to get to a position to hold this kind of job in a place that otherwise you might not have employment, I bet there's a lot of competition. I bet there's a lot of training and many, many hours put into them learning this before they're ever on the course.
No doubt about that. And they will tell you that it's an honor to have that job.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So guys, should we move on to Kanchanaburi?
Yeah, that was an interesting
Sure.
town and an interesting golf course.
And which one?
The Royal Kanchanaburi. We played Grand Prix first, but the Royal Kanchanaburi course with the thousands of monkeys running across the fairway.
What?
Yes, that would be the Royal Ratchaburi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Royal Ratchaburi. Yeah.
Yeah, we're standing on the first tee, and we are looking at, 100, 200, 300 monkeys just parading across the first hole.
Any chance of them stealing your ball? I would use that as an excuse on several holes, just so you know. Monkey took my ball.
Apparently so. I don't think any of us had that experience.
They maybe looked at it once or twice, but no, it never ran off with one.
And it was quite a cool setting in right at the base of the Burmese mountains, and
wow,
it was quite a good golf course. I mean, maybe some of the amenities weren't exactly up to the, some of the standards that we normally came across, but certainly the golf course itself was quite good.
And let's not forget, I shot 70 on that course. So,
is that one of the days that you guys won?
Yes. Jeff's back was sore from carrying me that day.
Yeah, Jeff was on fire that day. I really enjoyed the Grand Prix golf club experience. As you may recall, each hole had a car sponsor. I believe the owner of the golf course was either well-to-do and collected cars or was in the automobile industry. I don't recall exactly, but the course was just an absolute fantastic condition, and I believe they were in line of hosting an Asian tour event in March, which my guess didn't happen because of COVID. But it is definitely tour-worthy type of course.
Yeah, it was the Formula One actually where that industry sponsored it. They had 18 different sponsors, one for each hole, and I think that's how the golf course got built and paid for, orchestrated by one individual. So yeah, that was kind of fun, but I have to think that the highlight of that center, Kanchanaburi, was the bridge on the River Kawi, after all.
Whole history that was revealed some things that I really didn't know. With the whole World War II history, that not only the bridge, but then the train trip to I forget the
Hellfire Pass.
Hellfire Pass, yeah.
Yeah. And
what was Hellfire Pass? It's a train route, you said?
Yes. Jeff, do you want to take that, or Rob? One of you guys want to take that?
Well, it was built. It was orchestrated by the Japanese during World War II in their effort to conquer all of Asia. And what the history of it is, real quick, that prisoners of war that they captured along the way were forced to build this. I forget what the railroad. It was it was going to go to Burmese, right?
Right.
Burmese, to get supplies for the Japanese to what would then become the front. And it was just through mountainous terrain and rock and poisonous snakes and all that. And I forget the number of POWs that died during it, but it was, it was a part of World War II history that not many people know about.
It's incredible, because I love World War II history. this is now on my agenda to look up because that's a
cool.
fascinating story. Yeah.
Well, it was called the Death Railroad, and actually,
Death Railroad. Yeah, exactly.
The tracks went through like rock tunnel that was probably not as wide as this room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
wow. Very interesting.
And I thought that the what was it called, the Giath War Museum that started off our morning. That was kind of a gruesome way to start the day.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you guys, this is so far pretty much a history, food, and sightseeing vacation in which you played some golf, which is really, that's more interesting to me. In fact, if I was going to travel that far away, I would want to be immersed, I think, a little bit more than just in the golf.
Just for the record,
Yeah.
we were working.
I'm sorry.
Other people, that's a vacation.
My bad. You guys were hard at work.
Yes.
But the itinerary we had was very creative, and it really opened your eyes to the possibilities of seeing the country properly.
Right.
Starting in Bangkok, seeing all the sights of Bangkok, being able to play a little bit of golf around there. Then on our way to Hua Hin, stopping into see the River Kawi and see some of the history there, and play some golf courses as well. And it just made a lot of sense. If you look at a map of Thailand, to go from Bangkok to Hua Hin and stop somewhere in the middle to absorb some of the history and play a little bit more golf and eat a little bit more food, it all made perfect sense. Golf Asian did a tremendous job with their itinerary.
Yeah, and we stayed at a very nice, every place we stayed at was very nice. In Kanchanaburi, we stayed at a property that was away. It's a very longer name, away resort, let's say, which was away from the downtown area, which if you're a family, that would be ideal. But if you're a bunch of guys, you'd probably rather want to stay downtown Kanchanaburi because you can basically come out of your hotel and walk onto the street, and there's street life and restaurants and kind of get a feeling for what the average Thai person would be doing.
Right.
So, but we had we had dinner on the River Kawi, I guess almost every night when we were there in one form or another. And we had that one spot when we had the Singapore girl who just didn't want to be there with us, did she?
No, but she brought us a tower of beer, if you recall, and we managed to get through 2 of them.
I know. That was good. That was
the towers of the River Kawi, not often talked about, but you guys experienced it.
Yeah, our resort, or the resort we stayed at, was right on the river, and one night we had dinner there. They put on a show with like some kind of a Thai dancing girls show, and with not that kind of dancing girls, but you know what I mean. So that was kind of interesting, and then it was a cool place to visit. But going on the train over the river, that was cool.
That does sound incredible. Yeah,
that was my favorite part for sure. But the
Claudio,
monkeys were a close second.
Claudio, somewhere in between there, we also had a Thai massage at one of the salons that I think was life-changing for me. And the reason why is it was, I would best describe it as forced yoga, where, the masseuse bent, twisted me, and had things cracking. And all I know is when I was done, I was ready for another massage. I felt 20 years younger, and my golf swing was a lot looser. So I think it is an injustice to not talk about the Thai massage.
It is world renowned, and sports figures of all kinds swear by it. I think a lot of modern day massage therapy and even chiropractic approaches all stemmed from this. They tend to realign your body.
Absolutely. I go for one once a month, regardless of whether I need it or not. And I drive because of where this office is here in Mississauga, not far from you. Saturday I drove an hour and a half to come down.
It does make a difference. I've had the adjustments done through a Thai massage as well. you can't say enough about it. And you're good for some time, I've noticed afterward.
Yes, and actually, you know what? Maybe we owe that for you and I being, the victors on the final day. Our matches were close all week long. Like, we went back and forth, and we have to thumbs up to our competitors, right there, Brian?
You guys came up strong at the end, that's for sure. I think it was the Thai massage that loosened up Brian enough that he start shooting numbers.
Yeah, what ended up happening was 48 hours later at the away hotel, I realized there was a Thai massage salon just below in the basement of the hotel. So I cheated and got a second massage on the trip.
Aha.
I did too.
You guys, you know what? I think to even the playing field next time, you owe your friends here a couple of Thai massages. Not that you need to do it yourself, but maybe treat them to one, you know?
Oh, come on. I'm sure that they went for one too.
Well, I like the idea that you wandered into the Thai massage thinking something else and you still liked it. So congratulations.
There you go. So next, I think we got to move on to the real foodie capital of this trip, Hua Hin. And we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Hua Hin, which was just outside of town. And that was pretty awesome. But here we ate. And the first night we got there, we were recommended to go visit a pizza parlor. And we thought, yes, let's do that. And I think we all ended up there, but I think Jeff and I were the first two there, and we both like wine. And not only did we have decent pizza, but Jeff, we found a couple of pretty decent bottles of wine for not very much money, which is something that Thailand is famous for.
Yeah, that's kind of the MO of Thailand, though, is good stuff, not a lot of money.
Yes, not only the food, but shopping as well. But we didn't do a lot of that, so we can't be real authorities. But what did we find? We found a Spanish and an Argentinian wine, I think.
I forget what the bottles were, but the whole night was with the wine and the pizza was pretty awesome.
Oh, and you know what I remember now? That they were old. They weren't exactly like 2018. They were like 2010 or 12, and we got them for like $25.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So in the article that I wrote, affordability was probably the lead thing on why your next trip should be in Thailand. And just in my notes, you can basically eat like a king in the street markets for $5. The baht is the currency, and at least a year ago, or roughly a year ago when we went, it was $1 to 30 baht. Our caddies, for example, you had a caddy for 5 hours and end up paying about $13. It was somewhere between 300 and 400 baht for the entire, experience. And once again, going back to the Thai massage, you can get a great massage, feel 20 years younger for less than $20.
Incredible.
Yes, and eat on the street, street meat, as Jeff and I found another night. We had a T-bone steak and prawns for $13.
yeah, and included a baked potato and a salad and probably an ear of corn as well.
It did, and we so you pick your stuff out on the street, and then you choose the establishment that is right adjacent, and we went in there. They brought us our food. We ordered another bottle of wine that was quite good and cheap, and wow, $13 steak and prawn.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was in one of the street markets that we visited in Hua Hin, which was pretty cool because you could do all your souvenir shopping. You could get something to drink. You could get all kinds of different options for food, like you guys experienced. Certainly lots of seafood as well. But I really liked Hua Hin. I thought it was a really cool city with a really cool vibe. Our hotel was outstanding. It was right on the beach there. And we played two of my favorite golf courses over there as well, which were not too far out of the city limits. Banyan and Black Mountain. So I to me, that was one of the highlights, was spending the 3 or 4 nights that we did in Hua Hin, just because of, it was a little bit more laid back. The golf was amazing. The street markets and the food were outstanding as well. And it just, I really liked the vibe there.
Yep. Well, I think Black Mountain is one of the top ranked courses in Thailand, and it has hosted some PGA type events. Yeah, so that one, and Banyan is no slouch. It's a great golf course.
Yeah, Black Mountain is actually rated in the 100 best golf courses in the world. I think that's excluding the United States courses. So, and then they hosted the 2009 and 2010 Asian PGA Tour events. And they basically had a wall by the pro shop of all the events that they've held, either on the PGA, for the Asian Tour, and other national events as well.
But we can't overlook one thing, okay? Bamboo Thai cooking.
Oh, yeah.
How about that afternoon or morning or whenever we did it? We got to cook our own food.
Bamboo steamed food? Like, was it in the bamboo cookers? I'm thinking of 1974 television. Get your bamboo rice cooker and steaming.
No. This is the authentic. We went out into a garden with the lovely Anya. You guys remember Anya and her team? We picked our own ingredients. We crushed them all up. We did all that kind of stuff. And we have it on video, and it says, do not try this at home. But we cooked our own meal.
And how was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that we cooked it, it was very edible and very good.
What was it? Like, what was it? What was it, a meat-based, fish-based?
It was, what was that?
Chicken was one.
Chicken. Pandan.
Yeah, it was pandan Thai chicken. It was a little bit of a curry flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We made our own mango salad.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So
made a soup and a dessert, I believe. I believe we made four courses of very traditional Thai food.
Very cool.
So this is one place, and this is an actual business that caters to people coming in like us that want to try to make their own food.
Have that experience.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. So
very cool.
And we got to see more monkeys there. We went to Monkey Mountain.
I've heard of Monkey Mountain. What was that experience like for you?
It was just like monkeying around.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. What were you expecting? Come on. You asked that on purpose. So, anyways, from there, did we leave anything out of Hua Hin? I think that was pretty much, other than the great dinner at the Hilton Seaside. That was awesome.
Well,
yeah, it was really good.
I think if you're going to use this as a golf vacation first, which I don't recommend. I think it's immersing into the culture, as Rob said. This is a city you have to play. Banyan Golf and Black Mountain were two of the top golf courses that we played.
Yes, I would agree. From encompassing everything into it, there are over 260 golf courses in Thailand, and we were in Pattaya, which is where we're going next. We took a catamaran from Hua Hin to across the Gulf of Siam.
Beautiful.
For 2 hours, and then we ended up in Pattaya. But in Pattaya, we only played one golf course, and that was where they held the LPGA, or they hold the LPGA event every year. Beautiful golf course, but there are 4 others there, and there are many, many others in that area. So with that, let's go to Pattaya, or Pattaya, as we say it properly, the resort town.
So that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, there's a lot of there's enough room there for several golf courses all in the same area.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of the best. So.
Yeah, Pattaya was initially it was sensory overload. It would be the way I would describe it. I think we got off the catamaran. It was just turning nightfall, and so the lights and the traffic and the crowds were overwhelming. And of course, we went out and walked just to at least observe some of the nightlife there. And it's something that you have to see to believe. Just the all manner of entertainment that's available in this city. It's sort of what you would call it was the nightlife of Bangkok on steroids. I think one of us referred to it as when we were over there. It was quite something to witness.
Yes, definitely the naughtiest part of Thailand, I think, from all the times that I've been there and what I've seen. But it's one of those things where, you know, like Vegas, what happens in Thailand stays in Thailand.
I was gonna say, if you're taking a trip away from Bangkok for the weekend golfing, and Bangkok's already, you know, a little ramped up with the nightlife, what would you expect in the resort town? More,
exactly,
bigger.
And just to put it in perspective, Pattaya is only an hour from Bangkok, but because we were coming from Hua Hin, we were on the other side of the Gulf.
Oh yeah, okay.
So if you actually fly into Bangkok, which you will, it's an hour to get to Pattaya. And we stayed in a really cool resort because it was called the Avani Pattaya Resort and Spa. Yeah. So this is a seaside resort, which basically you're on one side, you walk out to the ocean, and on the other side, you're downtown. So very cool. But what do you remember about the first night? We had a choice for dinner.
Didn't we go to like an Irish pub?
Exactly.
we were homesick, and it was good to have some chicken wings.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, you guys.
Yes. Mark Siegel, owner of Gulf Asian, sends me a message, says, "Gonna take you guys out for dinner when you get here. We got some choices," and one of them was a pub. And I said, "Boys, want to go to a pub tonight?"
Yes, we do. Yes, mashed potatoes. Yes, please.
Yes. So that was kind of
Very
fun.
cool.
So, and that's where we played our final round of golf. And, you know, it was a tight match, but, you know, Brian played as well as any of the girls on the LPGA on that day, and he carried us to victory.
Excellent.
Siam Country Club was just an absolute treat to play. I believe Tiger had a win there, and as you mentioned, in February, the LPGA was supposed to play, and I'm excited to see it on TV, and hopefully this February I'll be back, and excited to watch that as well.
It was one of the highlights on the golf course for me was the way that both Brian and Claudio had the ability to make 6 or 7 caddies at a time almost fall down with laughter or giggling. They were more in awe of Brian, because when Brian would let one of his 300-yard+ yard drive goes, it was like something they'd never seen before.
Nice shot. But four or five holes in, sometimes later, Claudio would bring out his super high tee and hit a golf ball like that, and it was like something they'd never seen before. They were quite amused by the tandem.
Yes, well, I had to wear my loudmouth pants just to, you know, distract them from, you know, just paying attention to Brian. Let them know I'm here.
Hi, I'm over here. Yeah. Check my pants.
Yeah.
They were enamored. They were enamored with Claudio's pants, but if you said 3 letters KFC, they instantly broke out because they saw the resemblance of Colonel Sanders. And I stole your thunder there, Rob, but they absolutely cracked up and when they made the connection.
Oh no! How am I going to do another show with you today?
Mr. KFC.
Damn, that's funny. Well, that's this. Okay, so now you play your last round of golf there. Do you have to make your way back to Bangkok to depart? I would imagine, or how do you spend your last portion of the trip?
Well, we had to have a farewell dinner.
Where?
We did it right at the resort. They had this the restaurant, and they had this what they call the Thai house. Mm-hmm. It was an open air situation where we had the 4 of us, and I don't know how many ladies that were kind of the hosts of the Avani. There was 2 or 3 of them anyways. So it was a great way. They ordered everything. We ate everything.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there was.
And we also drank everything too, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Forgot.
Well, you don't want to be impolite.
No. We drank and ate everything they put in front of us, pretty much.
I have to tell you, this sounds like a really fun, interesting, refreshing, and restorative trip. I heard you guys did stuff for your health. You ate well. You saw everything from history to nature, wildlife. You saw the city life. you were on the river, and you really, in 10 days, by the sounds of it, was it 10 or 12 days in total?
12 days on the, I think 13 days, 12 nights. The weather was pretty much spectacular the whole time. I don't think we ever got rained out, did we?
Rained a little bit that first day on the golf course, the first day we played golf, but other than that, there was not a drop of rain during the day. I think rain at night generally is there.
And I think we forgot one thing about the rolling hills course at Siam, because there's 4 courses there. This is their new one. Might have the world's deepest bunker.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You take a ladder down there?
2
ladders.
2 ladders.
You get 2 ladders into the bunker?
That's
where I would spend my whole day.
I think it was a 2-tiered bunker, wasn't it? At the
It
lower
was.
level and the upper level,
Yeah.
and then you still had like quite a ways to go.
You had to tee it up in the bunker to even have a chance of hitting it out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You don't normally do that, guys? Never mind. That's my game. Forget it.
I think one of the most memorable things was Soy 6, and not because of the crazy nightlife, but we did see magicians and live fighting, and certainly some naughty fun things as well. But one of the things that is lasting was never ever 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 bet a bartender in pool or Connect 4, because you might as well just buy them a drink. You are going to lose. They are absolute professional gamblers there, and it was almost comical. I think the 4 of us collectively could not beat one of the bartenders in Connect 4, and next thing you know, you're buying the entire bartending staff a drink.
Guys, I cannot believe we're going to have this conversation, but in 4 years of radio, my co-host and I played Connect 4 once a week on the air. I never won Connect 4 once. And she would say the same thing. Why are you so bad at this game? It's not easy to play if you play against someone who knows their Connect 4 stuff. So I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. Also, you're a little hammered. Let's be honest.
Oh,
That is true.
forgot that part. Well, guys, that was awesome. It was a great trip, and hopefully we can do it again. And if we don't do it there, I know that we'll do it somewhere.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one. They're always great.
Yeah, it sounds like
Well,
you guys
have golf will travel. That's pretty much my tagline. And for those that stuck around listening to the entire podcast, I would put Thailand on your bucket list. It was a fantastic destination, once in a lifetime opportunity, and it should be on everybody's bucket list.
And for anybody who is looking to go to Thailand, if you want to get some basic information, www.tourismthailand.org is a great place to start. And if you want the assistance of Gulf Asian, which I would highly, highly, highly recommend, and I know the guys will concur, it's gulfasian.com.
Guys, thanks a lot, and for sharing the journey with us. It sounds incredible, and we look forward to the next time the 4 of you get together and go someplace spectacular. We'll do it vicariously through you before we go and experiment on it ourselves. So thank you all very much.
You bet.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that, Claudio, was an incredible journey.
It was. It's one of those you'll never forget.
Okay, once again, where people can reach out for more assistance to get to Thailand, which, by the way, making every effort possible above and beyond to make it possible for you to be there right now playing golf, COVID safe. And so let's get people in touch with them.
COVID safe. And you can find all the stories as well that I wrote on travelinggolfer.net, where you can also find these lovely podcasts.
tourismthailand.org, golfasian.com, travelinggolfer.net. Claudio DeMarchi, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll catch you guys next time.